that.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our June 4th, 2024 meeting. This is virtual and it's a hybrid meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order and start off the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaty First Nations, which includes Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Brahma, Moseley, and Georgina Island First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaty First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. I'll remind everyone to turn your cell phones off or place them on vibrate so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And I'll remind Council of declaration of pecuniary interest. If anything arises, you can declare it then, and if you know something now that's going to get in the way. We have minutes here from the May 24th meeting. If all in order, I'll look for a motion to receive them. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? That's carried. The next item on the agenda is the Shop Local contest. Sherry?
Just a reminder, it is a township-sponsored Shop Local contest that runs twice per month, aligned with our council meetings. Our last draw was drawn by Councillor Doherty, and our two winners were Joy Brickle, and Susan McKenzie. We had 38 entries today, and I'm going to ask Mayor Martin to draw. Very sophisticated. There we go. No, that's one. Perfect. Thank you. Well, Joy does it again. You can submit as often as you like and continue month over month. You can have multiple winners. And we have Joy Brickle, who is our #1 fan and has won this week's draw. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sherry. All right, then. We're going to move into delegations. And our first delegation here is Matthew Phillip, Senior Project Lead for Unity Design. Welcome, Phillip.
Morning, Council. Mayor, thank you for having me and everybody. And
Only a picture.
yeah, I don't need a presentation. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so this is regarding the recreational park and project updates from our previous council meeting and previous, I believe it was April, end of April when we presented this. And this is kind of focusing for today's agenda, reflecting on the park program, just a kind of a brief reminder of what was being proposed. And then from the previous council meeting, we're proposing a phase plan from the whole site plan, and then an order of magnitude cost for each phase in order for council to review and approve which phase to go forward with, and then next steps. So to reflect on the programs prior to the May 7th council meeting, we presented a program of 2 baseball diamonds, 2 tennis courts, 4 pickleball courts, public and park service buildings, including washrooms that serve the park, and dog park, and then infrastructure for the park, like parking and services. So after the presentation from May 7th, it was very clear that the single baseball diamond is priority. So we took upon that and put that into the phase plan. And then out of that, all other programs seem to be wanted, with potential for the dog park. I put a question mark because it just wasn't very clear that we wanted a dog park at this point in time. So this is just again, reflection on the program, on the design. That parking was close to the street with a hardscape path in between the two service buildings that kind of separate both the tennis courts and the pickleball courts, as well as the two baseball diamonds. And you'll see this as a phased plan approach. So this is what we're proposing for phase planning. So phase one, of course, the phase or the first baseball diamond, we proposed doing this most southerly one. Infrastructure for the park, so parking and any sort of stormwater management requirements that are needed, and then hardscaping up to the baseball diamond from the parking. Doesn't necessarily have to be hardscaping, but something accessible for all needs. Phase two would be the second baseball diamond, and then the auxiliary service buildings. You know, over time for the first phase, you'll kind of further determine what these buildings are really meant for, whether equipment storage and washroom facility counts, things like that. Phase three would be the tennis courts and the floor pickleball courts, and by that time we'll have kind of a decision if we're wanting to have a dog park in this area, a closed dog park, I should say. It is fenced in. No, we've onboarded a consultant who really focuses in on baseball diamonds and tennis courts, pickleball courts, things of this program, and they are up to date on construction costs. So this is the order of magnitude cost for this scope. Now, a one baseball diamond is $1.1 million. Now, what that gets you though is a very detailed baseball diamond. You have lights, you have fencing. You have hard surfaces for designed for hardball or softball baseball programs. So that is currently the cost for plus or minus 1.1 million. The infrastructure for the park, so the parking area and services are 1.5. So it brings total cost of $2.6 million for construction costs. And if you recall, the last council meeting, taking a 1.13 multiplier provides you the total project costs of consultant fees and any reports required that are over and above the construction cost. Taking the same calculation for phase two, if we were to take the same current date construction costs of $1.1 million for the second baseball diamond, auxiliary buildings at around $750,000 for both. They can be conjoined, so the cost savings if needed. Infrastructure for the building, so if we do washrooms, whether it's a septic or services from the street, it probably will be septic given where it's located. Gives you a construction cost of 2.1 million with a total project cost of 2.4. Now, I put this disclaimer of asterisks of anticipated escalation, just giving you the reality of construction costs nowadays at 5% over every year. So phased approach, depending on how soon or how later we want to do each phase 2 and 3, we're taking this same number of 2.1, 2.4, multiply that by 5%. For each year past 2024. Same thing for phase 3 with the multiplier at 2 tennis courts in 2024 cost is $450,000, $400,000 for the 4 pickleball courts, and then $15,000 for the dog park. That's really just the fencing. It can be a glassed area if needed. So we'll bring in the total construction for that phase of $865,000 and $980,000. So I put the multiplier in each phase just because of if we do a start and stop of consultants, we'll have to kind of, or reports or anything outcome of phase 1. it's added into each phase. So next steps from both the May 7th council meeting and today's meeting is request and receive a motion from council to move forward with phase 1 into the next design phase, onboard consultants contractually, and further develop the scope of work requirements with town staff. I spoke to the baseball diamonds. We priced it as, maybe lights, fencing. Is that what you want? Is that what you need? We would take that with staff and further develop that. And then receive motion from council to move forward with phase 2 and phase 3 into the next design, and do a further costing analysis and report to council when complete. It's similar to when we presented for the community center on phase 2 approach, just furthering the design and further developing that cost in order for you to make a definitive decision on when phase 2 and 3 will happen. And that is my presentation.
All right, thank you, Matthew. I'll open up to council for any questions. Go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for the presentation. I think you just answered it when you summarized there at the end. I was just going to ask you about if the ball field included fencing, but I think so it's lights, fencing, dugouts, all that. It's kind of
through there. That is correct.
Okay. And then there's still obviously, I guess, chance for us to kind of tweak it as we move ahead, right? In terms of
through Mr. Mayor. That is absolutely correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. It's a comment.
So through you, Mayor Martin. So since I got my package, I was looking at what if we did 2 baseball diamonds, a gravel parking lot for the first phase, because that way we can have tournaments. Is that a possibility?
Through you, Mayor Martin, that is a possibility. Absolutely. It's all kind of based on cost and what your needs are for the first phase. So the gravel parking per se, you could do that. It's kind of a base coat as long as accessibility is needed and provided.
Right.
I think we could do that for we've done that in the past of doing a limestone screening parking,
right.
Just for temporary, and then you can do your base coat, top coat of asphalt at a later date.
Because I was thinking about tournaments, don't you? Like you really do need 2 ball fields for a tournament, and that's the start of it. So that was my thought: 2 baseball fields, parking lot, and just possibly a portable.
Sure.
It's a thought.
Okay, Councilor Doherty.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The servicing costs. We talked about water or sewer hookups and so on. What exactly does that mean? We're going to go septic and well? Is that what the numbers are?
Through you, Mayor Martin, the services were more kind of a stormwater management. So hard surface parking, we have to provide water and drainage runoff. So that was, and then the asphalt and the base for it, curbs. That was more to the services of the parking. The services in phase 2 of the building themselves, it's probably, given where it's located, it would have to be a septic and well, if we were to do washrooms, of course, or any sort of water hookup.
I'm not too sure how you can have a ball diamond with no washrooms, no water. Initially, even with the phase 1, I just can't. I don't know. We could bring in porta potties, I guess, and a sprinkler system or whatever you want to do, but it still doesn't solve the long range situation, because there in the original plan there's some excess land there that we want to service as well. So I guess the question is, there's no driveway cost in this quote. There's nothing relative to the services, water or sewer. Is that, am I assuming right?
Through you, Mayor Martin, not exactly. It's $1.1 million for future phases. So if you're to do phase 2 for the buildings, which would have washrooms, we wouldn't want to put that infrastructure in now. So if you're needing sprinklers for the baseball diamonds, water or septic and well, we would put that in for the first phase. Now, I propose these 3 phase options, but you're not stringent to them. We can take from phase 2, put in phase 1, phase 3. So it's really, I'm only doing a proposed phase approach just to for cost allocations. So you could do all of it at once if you'd like, or break it up as we propose.
Okay, yeah, so I had the same question around the phase 1. We're getting a lot of pressure for baseball, and if there was an opportunity to get the 2 diamonds over with, and I think like Councillor Clement said, if you had outhouses and the gravel parking lot to get started, or limestone, and just kind of reverse phase 2 and phase 1, like take some of the phase 2 or add that part of it. And I think there is water in that area, like the houses all have town water. So the well thing probably isn't a necessity, but that would be a discussion for another day. The septic idea may have to happen. Most of them houses are on septic along there. So that part might have to happen, but to get things moving, that's what my question was. Is there an opportunity to look at getting the diamonds out of the way, even if we had to cut them back a little bit? As far as, I hate to do that, but I would like to go with everything you got here and say start next week, but the costs aren't going to allow that. So we're going to have to, you know, be creative here and try and get the most we can out of what we're trying to do. So anyway, that was my question, similar to Councillor Clement, as far as the phase 1, if there was an opportunity to get the 2 ball diamonds in and get them up and going. So the local leagues can get moving more locally, that would be ideal. But I know there's a lot to it. So, any other questions? So right now, you have this. The first motion was to receive a motion from council to move forward with phase 1 into the next design phase. So, how would you do that if there was any tweaking to happen, or for a bit more discussion on that part of it? Do you have any ideas about how you can?
Yep. Through you, Mayor Martin, if council wishes to revise phase 1, I would suggest that we make the motion very specific, so that our consultant can get very specific instructions as to how to move forward.
Okay. What's council's thoughts? Is there any appetite to looking at phase 1? Councillor Clement, go ahead.
So through you, Mayor Martin, so I'd like to see a motion pass that we start with phase 1, 2 diamonds, a gravel parking lot or limestone, and outhouses. We've got to get moving on this. Sorry.
Okay.
The obvious question here is, where's the money coming from?
Well, I mean, that's part 2, the motion we need to put in there that we explore.
We're going to start something that costs $2.7 million, and we haven't reserved the money for it, or have a plan that I'm aware of. Maybe there is a plan, I'm just not aware of it.
So this motion is the design phase, to keep working on the design phase. As far as moving ahead, that's something we're going to have to, it should be added in the motion that we explore. If we want to start this year, we're going to have to find out where it's going to come from. So.
Well, yeah, just further to that, I don't mind with going with the 2 diamonds, but I mean, I think at the start of your presentation, it was shown there that we kind of made a commitment to the community that we'd have one of these at least one done by next spring. So I don't want adding the second to hold that up.
Oh, no.
And so if there's a way you can, as I said, we proceed with the first and maybe add on after that. But the plan was to get 1 diamond done by next spring. And in terms of after that, I'm open to obviously amending it in some way, but I think Councillor Doherty's point, we do have to start thinking about money, because not just here, I think council kind of made a commitment through the strategic plan to put an addition on the rink, which is going to be another couple million. So, you know, it's nice for us to throw all these projects, but at the same time, we have to figure out where we're getting the money to pay for these, unless you just want to go to the taxpayers. So,
yeah. So, and the idea I had with the phase 1 doing the 2 ball diamonds, I didn't want to hold it up any. I was just saying, take some of that phase 1 and putting it into phase 2 and moving the ball diamonds up to phase 1. So it's basically the same costing almost, but it was just getting the 2 ball diamonds out of the way and moving the hardscape side of it into the next the next phase instead of doing it at the beginning. Councillor Flyberg, go ahead.
Martin, is there a motion on the floor? Because I didn't hear a seconder for that.
No.
So
So yeah,
What
so
is
the
the
motion right now is that we move with the design part of the phase one with the 2 ball diamonds and what else did you, and
Gravel parking lot and.
so basically eliminate the hardscape and move it into the phase 2. So we do need.
Through you, Mayor Martin, just further clarification, does the motion include fencing and lighting?
It's in that his quote that he's got there. So
Well,
Just for clarification on what we're asking.
Would it still be in there?
Yes, absolutely. I can provide, sorry, through you, Mayor Martin, I can provide the fulsome list of what was provided in the quote.
Okay.
But essentially it was fencing, dugouts, players, benches. If I may just read it out, just so it's on record. So it's clay infield and for the warning track, amended any topsoil requirements, sodding, backstop fencing, the foul lines, outfield chain link fencing, complete with plastic sleeves, foul line posts, dugouts, players, benches, main bleachers, sideline benches, irrigation, lighting, and batting cage. So that is quite the list of information, but it is all in that cost that could be pared down to your whatever the town requires.
And that's the thing, like there is some extras in there that could probably, like if we could get the diamonds in, if you could eliminate the lighting even for now for next phase, like maybe we can stream the phase down, but get the initial diamonds in so they're usable. And then, because that's from what I understand, the lighting was a huge cost in that, and it's a necessity, but it's just to streamline the how we're going to pay for this thing. There is some options in there that like irrigation, you know, hopefully it rains a lot. Councillor Fletcher.
Mayor Martin, I will second the motion, Kathy's motion, 2 baseball diamonds, and just tweak it so that we can get these diamonds up and going for them.
So
is that possible?
So just to clarify again with the motion, 2 ball diamonds with a gravel parking lot, outhouses, and no lighting. But everything else that's on that list. I just want to be clear about this because they're going to go away and do a lot of work on this. And I don't want them to come back and say, oh no, you weren't supposed to do all that. We need to be very specific on what this motion is.
Yeah.
So the lighting is the biggest expense in there of phase 1 if we change it around to my.
Through you, Mayor Martin, that is correct. It is a large cost.
Okay, I'm good with that.
And irrigation could probably come out of there too, because that's another water thing. If we're going to be running from our, unless we have a pond somewhere we're going to draw from, we don't have enough water to start watering grass. But that's just a thought there that to streamline it and allow for more discussion in the next phase, you know, to see where we fall out here. But that would simplify it to at least get the construction done on the 2 diamonds and usable. You know, there's a lot of work still to do to try and make everything happen on here. Like you said, Deputy Mayor Webb, it's, you know, but it would allow us to look for some grants too on some of these things. So. Okay, so the motion, do you have the motion there, Rob?
Well, I think there's another question. It's okay.
So we can build up diamonds, 2 diamonds, a parking lot, and have no lighting in the parking lot. That'll fly.
Through you, Mayor Martin, I would have to ask town staff to comment on that. I don't see that being an issue, depending on the timing of your baseball tournaments.
If there's no lights in the field, there shouldn't be anybody there at night, but the other part of it is security. So the parking lot might be another question for future as far as if it needs any sort of light. But I think some of those things does that have to be in there as far as if there's no lighting in there, we want to add it later, that can be something.
If there's no lighting, there's no lighting in the field or the parking lot.
So. Okay, like I say, this is just to get the design phase going is what we're looking for. There's a lot of work ahead still, like that we're gonna pay for it. So. Okay. Go ahead.
If I may ask a question through you, Mayor Martin. Matthew, thanks for your presentation. Is it reasonable to suggest we could get 2 diamonds done with the request today by next spring?
Through you, Mayor Martin, I had to look to the town because I've been told that there's a land zoning requirements in reports for an archaeological review. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that until we determine the end result of those reports.
Okay.
Given they come back all right though, in terms of just, I think he's referring to the construction timeline.
Sure.
Say they came back okay, would you be able to, we'll be able to get at least 1, if not 2 in there for next spring?
Through you, Mayor Martin, I don't see that being an issue. But again, we'd have to wait for those reports in order for construction to begin.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, seconded by Councillor Flagler. Is there any other questions around this?
Can you just have it read for clarity, please?
Yeah.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin, the motion is moved by Councillor Flagler, moved by Councillor Clement, seconded by Councillor Flagler, that our consultant proceed with the design of 2 ball diamonds, gravel parking lot, outhouses and no lighting. 2 ball diamonds to be completed hopefully by next spring.
Okay. The motion's on the floor, moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion? And that's carried. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. We'll be in touch.
All right, our next delegation here is Mayor Patrick Wolfberg from Havelock Norwood. Alan Hewitt, CEO, welcome.
Thank you. That was the good piece there. Mayor Martin, Council, thank you for having us here today. We're here to talk about the health of our community. So back on May 11th, we had the grand opening of the new medical center in Norwood. So we have 2 docs and a nurse practitioner, and they're taking care of the previous patients for the doctor who retired in December. We have a 3rd doctor joining us this summer. We're just waiting for the paperwork on them, and we expect them to roster somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 patients over about a 6 to 9 month period. We are actively recruiting for a 4th doctor. In the last month, I've had 2 conversations with 2 different doctors, and that is something that we are hoping to have somebody in place by the end of the year, but it's still a work in progress at this point. So these are some pictures of our new clinic space. This is a state-of-the-art facility that was tailored to the medical team's need. We work with them. What they ask for is what they've got. The feedback from any of the patients who've been there so far has been tremendous that this was what they're looking for. So this was the good news part of the presentation. Now to the other part of the presentation. So every region in Ontario has experienced a shortage of doctors. I don't think that's new information for anybody. The crisis is only going to get worse with the information that we currently have. The number of Ontario residents who don't have a family doctor is currently sitting around 2.3 million people across the entire province. That number is expected to double in the next couple of years. Our residents have told us that healthcare doctor care is a priority for them. This is a provincial issue. province hasn't stepped up. Our municipality has. This problem is only going to get worse. So our local challenges. Based on information provided by the OMA, Ontario Medical Association, the Peterborough area is approximately 40 doctors short right today. The public has been contacting us since the fall of 2023 when we announced the new medical center would be done. We have a list of approximately 2,500 people from all across the county and outside of the county who need a doctor. Almost 400 of those residents are from. This does not include the almost 300 who were rostered with the previous doctor who retired. So you're looking at approximately 15% of your population. Our solution, as I said, we opened our new clinic in March of in May of the grand opening, May of 24. Our focus right now has been on the doctor who retired in December and making sure all of his patients have transitioned over. Our new doctor will be coming this August, September, and we expect him to register between 1,500 and 2,000 patients over about a 6 to 9 month period, because it does take, if we could get them all done in the first month, that'd be fantastic. That doesn't happen. And we have made an ongoing commitment to get a 4th doctor into the clinic as well. We have made a long-term commitment to the health of our community. We are committed to doing everything we can to get the people on that wait list a doctor. Our goal is to ensure that healthcare needs in this area are here for everyone who needs them. So our current status. Currently, all costs associated with medical center are being covered by the taxpayers of the Township of Absondale Norwood. Of almost $600,000 was spent on capital, of which just over $200,000 of that was raised in donations. We anticipate yearly operating costs of approximately $450,000. We have a request in with the province to meet with them at AMO to discuss how they can help us with this situation as well. And we are going around to a number of communities doing presentations like this, looking for assistance. We realize that we're coming here in June, halfway through the year, and your budget has already been set. We understand that. What we're looking for in 2024 is any help that you can provide for the administrative costs of the clinic. In 2025, we would like you to consider us in your budget consultation and include funding for this clinic. The mayor of Absondale Norwood would like to address the council.
Thank you, Council. Let me give you a little background. On the 2022 campaign trail and through strategic planning exercises, healthcare has been identified as a top priority by members of our community at the time and time again. We recognize that healthcare is not a municipal issue, but a province issue, but that system seems to be broken. And the province isn't stepping up to the plate. So we did the work. We connected with physicians. We listened to their wants. We removed the administration burden of managing a building and staff so they can focus on what they do best, and that's patient care. We took an approach that no one else in Ontario was doing, and we were very successful. And we have a family health team committed to our area for the next 25 years. Last fall, when the township began compiling a wait list for unattached patients in Asphodel Norwood, staff took those phone calls and heard heartbreaking stories from all over Ontario, not just Asphodel Norwood. When you hear the staggering numbers of people who don't have a doctor, it's one thing. But to hear the people's stories and then be part of a solution that our residents and local communities have access to healthcare is truly a win-win for everyone. We have taken a proactive approach, and I'll be the first to admit we're still learning lessons as we go. But as we move forward, our commitment is to address everybody on our wait list. We want to be transparent about the process and keep everybody working with us in the loop. We need your help, and we are here, and we are happy to come back at regular intervals or provide updates on the work that is taking place. CAO Hewitt and I appreciate your time today and welcome any questions you may have for us as you consider how you can support this important community incentive. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pat and Alan. I have a few questions, but I'll open up the council and so did you?
Go ahead if you want.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Mayor Martin, just a question. So when you were doing your initial business case, did you take into account that you were going to come to all the different townships and ask them for assistance?
No, because we didn't expect to have all the phone calls coming from all the different communities around us. We were trying to look after our Asphodel Norwood residents.
Right.
With our Asphodel Norwood residents, I'll be straightforward. We got 628 without a doctor. And we have 225 that are traveling to Durham region, to Ottawa, back where they lived. And they want to go to the doctor there in Norwood. So that's 1,600. That's leaving, or 600, so, or 850. So that's leaving numbers ahead on the list. And when we had the call-ins, as Alan mentioned numbers before, Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, I think you had 278 on the list, but in this call-in, you had 383 people call in, almost. So I know you have over 400 people in your municipality with no doctors.
The piece through your mayor, the piece I'd like to add to that is, as the mayor over here mentioned, two mayors in North Metro. We have learned a lot as we have worked our way through this process. I joined the township in February. Mayor and I, this was probably one of the first conversations we had about what can we do? How do we move this forward? And they learned a lot in the fall. We've learned a lot since I've got there. I believe we're going in the right direction. We have a good solution, but what we've realized is we do need everybody's help.
Just the other part of that also is the county, yes, they have a doctor recruiter right now. Mayor Martin, I have no idea how that's going. But I do know that our plan has worked. In 18 months, we attracted 3 doctors and 2 other ones are been talking. I know we'll have more talking because it's a system that they like. Any other questions?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Thank you very much for the presentation. This is something that obviously members of our community, your community, a lot of communities around here have been asking for, crying for a number of years. The proposal itself is very interesting. Just a few questions kind of around the numbers, maybe in the proposal. 150 per person is the ones that are already being treated with.
We've already taken them on with the stock, that 2 doctors we have now.
That 150 would only be for new adds to that list then?
I would say yes.
Okay. And then moving forward, and I don't know, maybe these are something that, you know, if we enter this agreement, we would negotiate going forward, but say, so it's 150 now, like how would we move into the future? So is that 150, like, is there going to be next year is it going to be 155, 160?
Mayor, those would be some of the things that we would want to work out. If the council was willing, what we'd want is for everybody's best interest to put something in writing, to put a written agreement in place to say, this is what we're doing. As we mentioned, we would be happy to come back and provide information on an ongoing basis. Generally, this is how many residents are now rostered. That's your big number that you're going to want to know about. So no, we have no problem coming back and providing that number. If at some point it doesn't seem to be as many as you were expecting, again, then we have conversation about that, but we would definitely put something in writing and then work from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just to further on that, I can see this in a year or 2 being like Fairhaven Nursing Home. Reason I say that is I would like to see the community members that are in that loop have your member at their board, and you could have a board set up for that medical building itself with the communities that are involved into it. The communities that we're working with right now or coming out to, is, I can tell you it's Gerald Dummer, it's Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, and it's Hiawatha First Nations. And the only reason we're doing that is that's the east part of the county. We'll try and help this part of the county out. When we have names on this waiting list, it's all over Ontario. I'd rather deal with the community around us right off the hop than all over. We have people calling from Kingston, but it's unreal.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Yeah, so thank you for this. It's an interesting concept, and I think somebody said it would have been nice to have been involved from the beginning, like when they were first starting the business plan, because they should have known that this is a big thing and there's a lot of people. We've been dealing with it for years here. We had the medical center here. We switched over to Trent Hill's health team from Peterborough health team because we thought we would get more out of there. So we had doctors from Campbellford Hospital coming over and serving our medical center at the time until COVID came, and then everything changed. But I think moving forward, there's a lot of discussion going to happen here on how, with the logistics of how we could do this and be fair with the ratepayers as far as we shouldn't be in this spot. It is a provincial mandate for healthcare, and it seems like we're all put into this position to try and come up with something that works and that's reasonable. So I know when the talk first started over there, I had talked to somebody that it's too bad it wasn't halfway between Havelock and Norwood. Like it would have been easier to sell as far as for people to get there. Right now, I hear stories from people that are paying $150 to take a taxi to do the doctor's appointment in Peterborough. That's a killer. So the $150, is something to work with here. It's just how we do it. Like, is it a user pay like we do everything else? And, they can use their Havelock-Belmont-Methuen card to access healthcare. Are you going to do all the paperwork as far as for the administration? There's a lot of things to work out here on how we're going to make it work or could make it work if that's the thing. Because we were looking at building a new medical center. That was in the plans years ago with our long-term care. That being said, it's still there on the table. It's not, nothing has started right now. So, Councillor Clement?
So through you, Mayor Martin, sorry, we have 2 walk-in clinics. So those people that are currently using our walk-in clinics, then we have nurse practitioners, you can do blood work and everything else. If they wanted to be on your list, would you also accept them? Because right now they may not even realize that.
That would be up to your council.
Okay, all right.
So we're working with this wait list that we have right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, Councillor Doherty.
How accurate is, I know it's a stupid question, how accurate is the waiting list? You said about 380, like, is it climbing?
We still get calls, but we're not putting them on the list. We're sending them right through to the county's list.
And is there any elastic when you take about 400 for HBM? Is there elastic in that number? In other words, if we got 425, is that a deal breaker? If we get 375, are we going to pay for 400? That's probably part of the agreement on long term as well. And I do like the ring of the board system and the regular reporting, because that's pretty significant, because people go on and off lists and some expire as well. So it changed communities. So it's a number. And
through you, Mayor, I was very careful to use the word approximate, because the list literally grows daily and changes daily. So we're updating the list we get. We're also working with the county on forwarding people to their list as well. It's a living, breathing thing. So any agreement that we would come to, we would acknowledge that piece in there, and we would do our best to manage so that what was being compensated would be accurate.
Yeah, because we're going to YouTube, it's going to come to meeting where it's going to be in the rail. So we're going to create maybe some extra interest that maybe people weren't aware of.
Exactly.
To do it. So I would just kind of get the numbers, because it's a good proposal. It's a good idea, because we're a long ways away from the medical center, even though we want one. And
then there's the doctor recruitment too.
Yeah.
You gotta, like I said, our system worked to recruit the doctors. Yes, it is costly because we had to take on the staff. like Alan has said, we have 2 doctors there now, a nurse practitioner. There's a regular nurse there, 2 nurses, 2 admin. So the staff is there, we took it over. Doctors are coming.
So that model, you know yourself, if they brought that model to the county, it would be going through the roof because of hiring all them people to do it. So that's one of the things in question that we got to work out is this model. Is that feasible for our ratepayers? I've had calls from people that are going to Apsley for the doctor, they go to Marmor for the doctor, lots go to Campbellford for the doctor, and lots go to Peterborough. What I worry about is when we do get to the whatever we come up with here, are we going to start paying for everywhere? You know, I've seen one last week with regards to an arena. You know, if 20% of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is playing hockey in Norwood, the next thing we're going to be paying a contribution to the arena. That happened up north of here. And I wouldn't want to see us get in and start paying for these types of things, but to work with you on this, like Councillor Doherty said, with somebody on the board and work together. I think we should have done that from the beginning, but I applaud you for coming today to to get some lines of communication open and see if there's any
like hindsight is really 100%. Everybody knows
2020.
But when you want to build in between our townships, that's going to be even a costlier, expensive.
Well, not now.
No, but if you did, that would have threw another $2 million plus on this building just for the services. At least it's built where there's services. Some positive things on this medical center. We just worry about the doctor portion of it. The owners themselves have brought in dentists in there. There's a pharmacy in there. There's audiology in there, and there's therapy in there too.
Well, yeah, that's just the point. I don't know, for myself, I don't care where my doctor lives. He doesn't have to live in Havelock, as long as he's somewhere, exactly somewhere accessible or nearby where I can get to him. So I don't think that would be a holdup to a lot of people, I would think. So
the big thing for today now, it's public.
Yes,
it's going to be on YouTube. I'm sure we'll get some calls about it too on ideas, and moving forward, for today, we'll be receiving the delegation and keep working towards this, I guess. So, Councillor Doherty, did you have a question before?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You mentioned something for 24.
Mm-hmm.
We're a little short in cash, 24, but 25 a budget item. What kind of timeframes are you looking at for us for the initial stage? Like, what's the timing like? I guess, period.
We'll start our budget process for 2025 in September. So we'll probably be sending out something to the municipalities that we've come out to just as a bit of a reminder to say, hey, we have started our process. If you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to work with you. We have to do a budget for 2025. So
yeah, no, so you're looking for an answer from HBM as soon as possible, obviously, but September prior budget would be the ideal. I mean, good. Thank you.
We're open to working with you in any way we can.
Good, thanks.
Okay, so for today, we'll receive the delegation moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Doherty. Any other questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much today. And thanks, Chris. All right. Next delegation here is Sherry Black with the Ontario Federation of All-Terrain Vehicle Clubs. She's online, so welcome, Sherry.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah,
you can hear me. And just for logistics purposes, I can share my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Right. Perfect. Hold on just a second, please. Go. All right. Can everybody see this okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. You can still see it?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me this morning, everybody. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk about the OFATV and the work that we're doing throughout Ontario for ATV trail management, trail extension, trail and ATV safety. This is actually ATV Safety Week in Ontario and actually across Canada. So this is the 25th year of the OFATV in Ontario. We started in the Mattawa area, and at the same time, a club joined from Simcoe, from the Barrie area. And our focus is really on trail management, safety. I want to talk this morning about the economic impact of tourism and jobs in terms of this incredibly growing industry, our funding models, some information about our single permit goal, and relationships that we've been working towards building in Ontario.
Sherry, we've lost your presentation. We can't see it.
You can't, eh? Hold on,
No.
just a sec. New share. You can see it now?
Yep, there it is.
Yep, perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
So a little bit about the OFATV. In our 25th year, we are 23 clubs across Ontario and growing with over 8,500 kilometers of insured trails. This is represented very similar actually to the OFSC model, with a district model in terms of our federation. And the 17 districts are represented on our board of directors, and the district directors also provide mentorship and support, guidance, leadership to our local clubs. All of our trails have over $15 million in liability insurance. We're moving towards right now consistent trail signage across our 8,500 kilometers of trails. We're a self-funded model, so we do not look for funding from municipalities or different organizations. All of the funding goes back from the permit sales back to the trails through our nonprofit. We are a nonprofit organization, as well as all of our clubs. Our goal is trail management, trail safety. People often know us through our Quad On app, which has, it's a free app that's downloadable on Android and Apple. It has over 40,000 downloads annually. And we have a very scalable provincial funding model and a very scalable governance model. Just scrolling down. So one of the features of our Quad On app is that we promote local businesses on Quad On. It's just a very cost-effective way for local businesses who have businesses close to our trails, close to the trails, can advertise on Quad On. In Ontario, as of last year, this is still it's a big number. There's over 286,000 insured ATVs and side-by-sides. And riders last year took 492,500 day trips outside of their local region in Ontario. Sorry, that was 2022. So outside of their local region is anything beyond 50 kilometers from home. They took over 230,000 multi-day trips in Ontario. So ATV-related tourism was $373 million in 2022. On a single day trip, when somebody's driving beyond 50 kilometers of home, they're spending just $1 short of $250 in tourism spending. And on a multi-day trip, they're spending $1,086. So this growing industry is very much a tourism and economic development opportunity to keep riders in Ontario to spend their tourism dollars in Ontario. So our goal is to connect riders to trails and trails to riders throughout Ontario, representing rider interests and rider safety. Sorry, I just meant to. So District 2, if at any point your community were to join the OFATV, you'd be part of District 2. All of the trails would have liability insurance of up to $15 million. We have local volunteers working on local trails in local communities. We provide all of the trail maintenance and the trail management. We have a very popular, very robust volunteer warden and ambassador program, whereby, for example, last weekend, wardens and ambassadors were out on the trails throughout Ontario, working in collaboration with OPP SAVE teams doing what we're calling a ride safe pit stop, which is just a very proactive, friendly stop, asking if people are wearing helmets, if they know the importance of wearing helmets, if they're wearing their seatbelts, if their lights work, if they know, how to access the trails, if they have a permit, if they know where they are, so it's just a very friendly, proactive, warden-based ambassador program. And we do a lot of collaborative trail work with local snowmobile clubs. In fact, we have a signed MOU with the OFSC that's been in existence for a couple of years that has resulted in tremendous collaboration amongst a lot of our clubs and local snowmobile trails. About 60% of the trails are joint ATV and snowmobile trail. So again, we talked about the Trail Warden program, and this is just a focus on trail safety. We have consistent trail signage. We've introduced, interestingly, just in the last month, a program called Ready to Ride On. So we built that because we know that actually we had a joint press release earlier this week with the OPP. ATV related deaths are up 125% this year over last year. A lot of people who are in serious accidents or fatalities are not wearing a helmet, they're driving impaired, they're driving too fast, they're losing control of their machines. So to help sort of combat that over time, we've launched a program that's really dedicated to new riders and youth in Ontario. It's online. It's not meant to actually replace one-to-one training. There's nothing better than one-to-one training, but we know we can reach more new riders over the long term by quality online programming. So we partnered with Yamaha and BRP and developed this, fantastic new rider youth program that launched last month. And as I mentioned, we also have our Ride Safe Pit Stop. So rider safety is a fundamental for us. When people are in serious accidents or fatally injured on ATVs, the data from the OPP would show that most of those are actually happening on private property or on roadways. Most accidents aren't actually happening on groomed, maintained, insured trails. Like I mentioned, we have a signed MOU with the OFSC. We work really closely with them. I sit on the board representing Ontario with the Canadian Quad Council. We have a very strong partnership relationship with the OPP. We have an increasingly strong relationship with the Ministry of Transportation. We've got an exclusive relationship with Royal Distributing, Yamaha, BRP, and we're about to announce a very big relationship partnership, sort of sponsorship with a huge top 5 Canadian insurance company. So our goal is really to grow trail connectivity throughout Ontario by bringing riders, and the face of riders has changed from, hunters, still a lot of hunters, still a lot of farmers, obviously, but this is recreational destination riding, going from community to community. It's retirees, it's young families, it's couples, it's friends out riding, for fun, as a great way to enjoy the beautiful outdoors during the week and on the weekend. A big part of our mandate right now is promoting a single permit in Ontario. We hear this from riders every single day. They're confused about where to ride and what permit they need. Right now, if you were to ride across Ontario, you would need about 5 to 6 different permits. It's confusing for riders. So we want to mitigate rider confusion. We want to bring dollars back to the trails through and into communities by increasing the sale of permits. As I mentioned before, we're a self-funded model. We're endorsed by the OFSC. We have a variety of endorsement letters from our stakeholders supporting this. We're fundamentally supported as well by the OPP. With the single permit in Ontario, the OPP would be able to enforce safety on the trails. At this point, they can't. We are heavily lobbying the provincial government, the Ministry of Transportation, for a single permit in Ontario. We're also supported by the manufacturers who also endorse and want a single permit. So riders want this, manufacturers and dealers want this. Increasingly, we have letters of stakeholder engagement. Actually, Hastings County just signed a motion or approved a motion last week endorsing a single permit in Ontario. So we're getting more and more recognition for the importance of a single permit for riders in Ontario to support the growth of trail connectivity and ridership in Ontario. Really, that's it. I don't have any particular asks today. I just wanted to provide some information about who we are, our background, what our goals are, what our mandate is, and to help us celebrate our 25th anniversary.
Thank you, Sherry. And yeah, the Havelock-Belmont-Methuen has always been involved in trails. We work really close with the OFSC and the EOTA, as well as our local Havelock District Snowmobile Club. Always trying to make sure we're on the right path or trail. So anyways, it's the one permit idea, I think, has been around for a while, and a lot of work's gone into it, and I think it is moving forward here eventually. It's good to know. I have heard some, I've heard about you before, more in the north, I think, but you're moving down this way, and that's good. It's good for the trail riders. One of the issues around here is a lot of our trails are private property, very tricky to get opened up, you know, and without causing issues. So, but I'll open up to council if you have any questions for Sherry. Okay, well, thank you, Sherry, for the information, and we'll work with these other groups and pass on your delegation information. So
perfect. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, then. The next item on here is Meg Knox, owner of, oh, sorry, motion to receive. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? That's carried. And the next delegation is Meg Knox, owner of Mutt Mix. Welcome, Meg.
Hey. I'm fancy PowerPoints and I have permission to approach to. We'll practice several anyway, so. Just in case.
Thank you.
Sure. So my name's Meg. I am the owner of Mutt Mix, who recently opened up my own location with Woodland Raw on 14 Berry Street, out on Highway 7, right beside Woody Burger on your way out of town. I'm asking today for funding to help create a puppy pit stop at my location on the Town and Country property. I look at it as not only, you're right, it probably will benefit my business and the other small businesses that are in with me, but I also would like to create more tourism in our community. I recently won the Sparks Kawartha Tourism Sparks grant of $3,000, and the initial plan there was for me to have kind of an outside presence with picnic tables, tents for shade, so people can stop by. Between Toronto and Ottawa, there are only one major pit stop for dogs, and that's in Coburg at the Big Apple, but people don't know about it because they only see a Big Apple. So speaking to my mentor, who is Kelly Johnson, she's the tourism manager of Metrolinx in Toronto. Her and Justin Fontaine as well is the Kawartha tourism manager. To remember. They are both have decided to jump on board with me and help me create a bigger presence in our community for dog-friendly space to pit stop. I'm staying away from the word dog park. It'll also be open to community members as well. I am seeking 45 by 45 foot fencing on the Town and Country. They are allowing me to use their space. Originally, they were going to charge me a leasing fee of $200 a month. They have recently waived that. So this was already printed and I didn't want to waste paper. So that has been, the lease is now not an issue. So I don't have to worry about having those sort of things for paying every month. That being said, a 45 by 45 foot fence with a gate, it would be locked nightly by myself. It'd be maintained by myself. I'm not only wanting to put myself and Havelock on the map, but the other businesses that nobody knew the station is pet friendly. No one knew that Woody's was. The Moonlight Motel is pet friendly because I've stayed there before. Putting other people on the map in our area to allow them to understand that when they are coming by and driving by, they can stop by. Last Friday, May long weekend, this sounds really silly, but I stayed outside and counted 57 cars drove by with dogs, heads out the window, and 5 people stopped. You know that I did that. So 5 cars stopped and had their dogs on a leash, and they're like, is there anywhere to let our dogs run free? And I was just sharing that there isn't at this time. I've also had other community members come in and ask me about that space, if there's something I could do for the community, as well as bringing more people to come in, stop, shop, and eat, and making a more presence for our town to have a spot for their dogs. But I'm not using the word dog. I want to use it as a puppy pit stop, but also the community members, of course, can come in and use it. So the fencing is 45 by 45, 3 sides. We're going to attach it to the other side of the fencing. It's $1,200 for the fence. It's $800 for shipping for the fence. I'm arranging with a friend, a really good friend of mine, with the truck, and I will pay for the fee to have that picked up with gas and their time, of course. And I also am seeking just a little, probably have to pay for the labor, which, and all together, I'm seeking probably about $2,000 in funding from the town to help me get this project off. And when this one's done and up and going, of course, I'm going to go into something else really great for our community. I just really want to put us on the map, not only for my own business, like I shared, but for other businesses that are pet friendly and for people to stop. People keep driving by when they could be stopping and going to Woody's. Now they have, the cottage also has the mini golf, and you know, people want to go to food and a shop. They can't leave their dog in the car. They can't leave their dog fully with me. I'm not responsible for that, of course, but they can leave a family member to stay, let their dog go, and they can go do shopping, go get takeout. Our plan is, I did buy a 10 by 10 foot tent, as well as a new picnic table, and we're getting more of those things. So there is shade provided, and there's an area for people to stop and stay in our community a little bit longer than driving by.
Okay. Take a breath.
Yes, I know. This is worse than driving stuff. Okay. Any questions from council members or mayor?
No, it's look, you know, you put a lot of work into this, and we're seeing that at the east end of town. We've seen what the cottage did. I think that was mainly with their own money, but when it gets to private property, there is some challenges around providing taxpayers money. There's a lot of specifics around that. So I don't know with the Economic Development Committee, if you've seen this presentation.
Just spoke with Meg briefly on Friday about it. So just further to the mayor's point, yeah, maybe this is something that we could do with. I know we have we don't give out money, but we have a low interest loan that we run through Direct Dev, and I know Sherry's quite involved with Court of Futures, who have many small business loans and grants. So there could be grant money there, which you wouldn't have to pay back, right?
Right.
But just to the mayor's larger point in terms of just that is, we have a number of businesses here, like the cottage just did extensive renovations, right? And we didn't give them anything.
Right.
So we have to be consistent in this job, right?
I guess for me, I was looking at it as I'm not taking anything away from our community's property. I'm not removing anything. I'm bringing something extra, right?
Oh.
I know they're doing so. They make a lot more money than me. So that, let's be honest. I'm still a small business. I just thought it'd be an opportunity with using partial wide grant, which I'm allowed to get early. I was just seeking some sort of funding or grants to get me on board to do that.
And you've been a terrific add to our community for all you've brought here in terms of the business and your enthusiasm and everything. And as I said, myself and Sherry, the economic development, will try and help you find these funds.
Okay.
Okay,
Somehow.
Sherry.
Through you, Mayor Martin. I'd like to just share a little bit more information about the SPARK program. So SPARK Ontario, what they focus on is this tourism incubator administered through the Tourism Innovation Laboratory. And this is $3,000 of seed money given out to individuals that pitch. It's not easy to pitch. You've got 2 minutes to make a strong pitch, and then you have to come back and then provide a more robust pitch to their board. And you were successful doing that, which is fantastic. What Meg's going to receive in terms of benefit is not only the $3,000 in funds, it is provided in sort of a stage fashion, which makes it difficult to get up off the ground. And I appreciate Deputy Mayor Webb's comments that perhaps we can work together in terms of having seed funding upfront to see you follow through to fruition. But in terms of the administrator, which is Justin Fontaine, one of the greatest benefits is this assignment of a designated mentor, right? And the fact that you've already been partnered with Kelly Johnson, which is fantastic. She has a terrific background. She's going to help you take it to the next level, right? And you'll be meeting with her, I understand, 3 times over a 3-month period. You'll be submitting progress reports, participating in next steps. So as much as you will see funding, the greatest value will be having a partner who has such depth of experience to help execute to fruition, which I think is going to be the foundation of your submission if we're looking for whether it's additional grant funds or even a short-term loan through, let's say, Community Futures Peter Road.
Right,
which is part of
which
the
I've been directed as well, right?
which is Braden Smith. And I know you've worked with Braden in the past and know Braden, which is fantastic. So in terms of economic development, I do think it's really interesting that you were approached with this notion to explore this idea because it's an underserved pet market. We have nothing like that here. And now with this corner sort of developing, I think it's really an exciting venture, one that I'm hopeful everyone will support.
Yeah, so thank you very much for this. And you know what? So the Economic Development Committee will be working on something to see if there is a way of helping. Appreciate what you're doing down there. It is a tough end of town to draw people down there, but I see a lot changing down there. So hopefully it all works out.
Great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Meg. All right.
Everybody.
Motion to receive the delegation. Deputy Mayor Webb, seconded by Councilor Doherty, all in favor. And that's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
You might read that here.
11 o'clock. Are you okay to can you wait for till
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay. Well, I never know. I don't want to. Okay. All right. So we're moving into staff report for information here. So there's 3 items on there. The first item was Uniman Road signage.
So, yeah, just for clarification, did we get a sign, or did we come to, I guess it would be the verbiage that will be on the sign, that we had discussion about what the sign should say here?
Through you, Mayor Martin. So we met with county staff. We are in the process of getting a meeting together with Uniman and county and the township. And I'll call on Bob to speak to this as well, as he was speaking with Uniman just Covia just yesterday as well. So he can add some light to the conversation.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. What I can add is that Covia is certainly responsive to having a meeting to discuss this sign and any other issues that the township would like to discuss with them. So I think we're going to set up a meeting and have the conversation about the sign verbiage and exact placement and what that should look like.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you very much, Peter.
Next item's incident summary from Fire Chief Haynes. That was an update on the information only item for the Covia sign.
We met with the county before. We asked for a sign before. Well, why are we back having another meeting? It's a simple sign. We're going to be another year before we get a sign up to work on it. I don't understand. If the question to the county is, can we put a sign on 46? Yes or no? If you want to see the verbiage, yes or no, and then get on with it. The signs, what's the sign going to cost? $150, $200? We're going to have 6 staff members and time related to do a sign. I don't know. For me, it's kind of a.
Yeah, well, through you, Mayor Martin was speaking with county staff. They were definitely okay with the sign going up on County Road 46. It's just what sign is best for the situation and the location. So they're definitely on board with having a sign put up. The discussion would be around, what does the sign say? Is it a Covia sign, like their own Covia plant sign, or is it another road sign, like green background, white lettering? So it was a discussion on location and what specific sign should be put up to direct the traffic.
So I imagine Covia is still okay using their name on the sign too, so.
Yes, that's through you, Mayor, and that's correct. So that's why the 3 of us thought we better get together to come up with the best solution.
Yeah, so there is a process, and it's been okayed by the county to add another sign to the sign. It's just what it's going to say. So moving forward. It'll happen in the near future, I'm sure. We have to have a meeting with them also with regard to the road, so maybe there'll be a lot of duplication there, so. Okay. Okay, so the other item here for information was the incident report from the chief. And then the last item here was the fish hatchery road meeting that we had with the minister. If there's any questions around that.
You go ahead.
So, through you, Mayor Martin. So we're on the fish hatchery road now.
Yeah.
Had we accepted these? Okay. So, going forward, like how do we have a time frame here where we can proceed with this? The purchasing fire. We already agreed we're going to purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to move on this soon, or?
So that'll be the next question. So as you've seen from the meeting that we had, there was not a lot come out of it. It's a different ministry than M&R that looks after that. So right now we're at a standstill with the $15,000 that was outstanding. We were trying to see if we could get that. We also asked if we could get any matching funds towards the road, and that's where it came up that this isn't their road. It's not in their. That would be them that you would deal with for any extra funds towards the road. I had said to him that we have 150 or 170,000 towards upgrades. Would they match it? And he wouldn't be able to answer that. It would be a different ministry. So right now, he said he would try and see if he could get the $15,000. So we had a zero contribution. But that being said, I don't know how long we're going to wait here. We are looking at moving on with it. Are we going to keep waiting for all these ministries to go around in circles? Or?
Well, every ministry we ask ends up giving us money. So my whole point would be, why wouldn't we ask the Ministry of Infrastructure, seeing as we were just told by the MNRF that it is their road? MNRF, it wasn't even their road, and they just gave us, what, $25,000 between a wave survey and it's a payment evaluation rate. So I don't know, it's up, I'll leave it to everybody else, but
I make a motion that we send a letter off to the infrastructure minister and try them. To me, that's, and I don't get this thing as they're giving us money. It's their road. They're giving us nothing. It's their road. We're taking over an expense. So, and further to that, the road will be fixed. We have money in the budget to fix the road. The road will be fixed at some point here. But my whole point is, this took us all of what, 6 weeks? If we take another month to 6 weeks and ask this ministry, maybe we get the whole 150,000 covered, right? Maybe we don't. But I don't think I guess we're four weeks behind, but to me, things have been going pretty good by asking some of these agencies for money. So why wouldn't we keep doing the same thing? To just say, we got to get going on this. We got to get going on this doesn't make any sense at all. So.
Yeah, and there's other ways, like if you can do simultaneously move ahead, but that's fine. We have a motion on the floor that we contact the other ministry. Is there a seconder for that?
Oh,
any other questions? All in favor? That's carried. So, okay, so that's the end of the staff reports information. We'll move into staff reports with follow-up action. So, Kayla? You're a Nazi.
You'll only be there for about an hour.
Minimum.
Good morning, Mayor Martin and Council. Thanks for having me today. Excited to be here. So I'm here today to seek approval for the 2024 draft township newsletter that will be distributed in the final tax bill towards the end of June. Staff have submitted content again this year for 2024. The 2023 newsletter was well received by residents. I don't know if we've had a chance to look at the newsletter. We do have a few QR codes that need updating once some future reports are complete. So that's really the only thing, and a few dates need some updating. So
Council, what's your thoughts of the letter?
Just a question or probably an ad, the breakdown of the tax base and the percentages. Can we put in 2023's numbers in brackets to?
Yeah, sure.
To highlight it shows what consistency where we're going with.
Do you want it like in the graph or do you want it in both parts?
The pie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know, that was just a suggestion. It gives us some benchmark.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Any other questions or comments you'd like to see?
No, yeah, it's really misread. I thought it's really well done. It's easy to read. And ascertain the information for it. It's not confusing, I guess is basically what I'm trying to say. So very well, very good job, Kayla. I know this is a newsletter here, but I might be asking out of turn, but I was wondering in terms of the guides, where they stand.
They're way.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear the response.
They're on their way. I think they had some final things that was going to print, I think, soon from what I asked last week, but I asked Sherry last week where it was at.
I just had a couple.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I asked her last week and she said it got a couple more things and I don't know whether you're not involved with that at all, are you? It's up front. So, okay, so we'll see.
Once they make the changes, they don't need to stick.
Sherry's not here now. So.
Okay, no, sorry.
Okay. All right then.
Can you please clarify that conversation we were just having?
The community,
what you're talking
there's
about.
Sherry there, the community guide for that comes out to celebrate Havelock didn't make it. So Sherry's still working on it and it's coming out in the near future, Sherry.
Through you, Mayor Martin, yes, the community guide. It will be released very soon. We have staff now doing a final edit of the front section. There have been some modifications to it. And I'm working on the business directory, which is aligned with our website business directory improvements that will be introduced in the next week or two.
Okay. Thank you, Kayla. Great job. Awesome.
Okay, it was well, this last year's, but the feedback was good, at least from the folks I talked to.
It's a good thing, Jackie.
Okay, so the motion
on my committee work, I've got it. Just
would be to move ahead with this, with the amendments asked for. So that's moved by Councillor Flagler, second Councillor Clement. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next item here is the Jugville Water Supply Station in Peter.
Yeah, so through members of council, the purpose of this report is to update council on the delivery of the Jugville Water Supply Station, which has been delivered last Tuesday. And that council choose an exact location at the water tower for the filling station to be placed. So everyone's seeing the attached drawing on the back. The little small blue dot on the attachment shows where staff are recommending the water fill station be located.
So let's post all the connections and all that stuff. That's why you put it there.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. Yes, it's close to the storm, so we need the storm and water, obviously, to the water filling station, and the electricity, the hydro will come from the water tower. So it's fitted best to suit for the storm and water. It's very close. Yeah,
perfect. Okay. Councillor Flagler?
Yes, and the filling up part, do they come in off of concession, obviously? And then can they do a circle right around, or is it pull up and then back out?
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. I think what we'll do, Councillor Flagler, is we'll actually put some arrows on the pavement.
Okay.
So it'll be a double wide entrance, and then we'll have some arrows directing the traffic to come in, stay to the right, go make the left before the.
And they'll be able to go all the way around it and back out on the street.
Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
All right.
Good. Yeah, I see it sitting up there. So any other questions for Peter?
Oh, sorry.
No, keep going.
Probably some question. When do you expect the water fill station to be open and running?
So through you, Mayor Martin. So currently after today, we can get our permit into the building department. We just need a site plan to complete our building permit application. And the electrician, the local contractor has already been contacted and it's underway too. So it's, we just need this and the locates have already been called in. So we'll be working on it in the next week or two.
Okay, and will that come back to council and then you're gonna turn it on?
Yes, so through you,
okay.
yes, through you, Mayor Martin, we'll come back with a date to the next meeting and have a opening date of the water filling station, and then we'll have a cost of what the water will be at the machine for.
Okay. And do you remember the payment system, is it set up on thing? Because we do want to track, because the payback on this is unbelievable. It should be 6 months, I think, isn't it?
So through you, Mayor Martin, yes, we've been working with MoneyX, it's a corporation through FlowPoint. So they have all of the information they're required now. So they're setting up the software and the computer as we speak, actually, to have it up and ready.
And that's right. But yeah, thanks.
Okay. So the motion would be that we move ahead with the staff recommendation, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clemens. Any other questions? All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So next, we will look at taking a 10-minute break here. You okay with a 10-minute break, Lionel?
Yeah.
Okay. So a motion to for a 10-minute recess, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? Carried. So come back tonight. Motion to resume the meeting. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? Carried. All right, so the next item on here is Lionel with regards to the draft online budget survey. So, Lionel, do you have anything?
Through Chair, I don't have anything to add beyond the revision report.
There are two options there. Option one is similar to what we did last year, so we were able to track responses and compare, and the other one was a condensed version. So I'll open it up to council.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, thank you very much for the report, Lionel. I'm tending to go with survey, I guess, number 2, just the one question. More in the I think we've just kind of done an extensive survey with the community good strategic plan. A lot of the questions I think that were on the first choice there have already kind of been answered through that strategic plan survey. So and just for myself in terms of, you know, helping us as a council moving forward, I kind of like just the simplicity of 2 in terms of maybe identifying the two or three things that, you know, that are on people's minds, I guess, this year. So I think it just makes it a little bit easier. And as I said, in terms of the background information and what the public thinks of what we're doing in certain areas, I think we got a lot of that feedback through the results of the strategic plan survey. So,
okay. Any other comments around? Councillor Doherty, go ahead.
No, after.
Well, just, sorry, through you, remember, but you're only, on the second one, you're only asking them to pick one item. With the first one, it's gonna follow along with last year's where you can compare, right?
Sorry, yes, I need to clarify. So, well, I like 2, instead of maybe just the 1, maybe we list the top 3. So 1, 2, 3, in terms of your point. But I can see how just picking 1, in terms of the number we get, even if you just have somebody pick 1, it's still going to break down into a top 3. So, as I said, it's just, to me, it's, I don't need numbers 5 to 10 really, right? Because we're only going to deal with probably the top 2 or 3. So I just think this is the best way to come about it. But that's just my 2 cents.
Councillor Doherty.
That's right. I like option 1 to remain consistent with what we've had for the last, I guess it'd be the 3rd year. I like the idea of the option 2, but I think we've done we're going to do a survey. We did a survey for a strategic plan. we're doing surveys all the time. This would kind of add consistency for this year, and I think to put it back in the hopper for next year to see whether we'd want to change. That's my. I think we need the year-over-year results, because even in option 2, a lot of those things were addressed at the strategic plan. We'll get an opportunity to formalize that and maybe put some of it in motion so that the question next year might be more relevant. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Through you, Mayor Martin. Option 1 for me, but I'm not understanding why economic and development and business attraction question is there. I think you have parks there, which is great. You have the seniors, which is great. I think public works should also be on there to see how we're doing on our side roads and our back roads. And I would like a question of a doctor as well to see if there is a need for a doctor to be, seeing that the medical center is kind of on the table, off the table. I'd like to know where they stand in that question. Thank you.
Through Chair, this was essentially a carry forward from last year. Last year there was a good lively discussion about what needs to be included in the survey. So by all means, we could add in a similar question about public works and doctor recruitment if council so chose.
So some of the comments I heard from Councillor Doherty around the consistency to try and allow us to, judge on, how we're doing. I understand where that's coming from. As far as adding questions, I don't know if that, I haven't really thought about adding more. I kind of think if we, for next year, there is some other things like I think once the strategic plan does come back, would this be the 3rd year of the same questions? Is that, or similar questions? Or is this the 2nd?
Yeah, through you, Chair. I think last year there was quite a bit of fine tuning, but it's the 3rd year of very similar questions. Yes.
Okay. Good then. Well, good discussion. It's just where we fall out here as far as if we did one more year of the same survey to see, or there's 2 options. So I'll look for a motion on one of them options. I've heard good discussion on both, but we have to make a decision here. So
I'll make a motion for option 1.
Okay, Councillor Doherty is moving option 1. I'm seconding. Comments?
Is the person that made the motion willing to add the healthcare question to that? Just that this is something we're dealing with now, and it's kind of been talked around here that the questions we've got on here are pretty generic and have been asked for 3 years. So I mean, for my money, we know the answer to all these. They've been asked 3 times through a budget process and once through a strategic plan. What I'd really like to hear is maybe something around what we just heard in terms of this doctor medical thing, or I don't know if that's something that staff or council can craft that question, but these are the types of answers that I want to hear from the community. I know what their satisfaction rate is going to be around roads and around parks and rec. It's going to be the same as what it always is, average to good or whatever. It's the same thing every time we put these surveys up. So I'd like to get answers to questions that I don't know. I think the medical question is something that should be added in some form to this survey.
So it'll be up to the mover and the seconder. Would you be okay with one more question added in that with regards to the medical center?
One more question.
Well,
yeah, 1 or whatever. Well, some of them have 2 in terms of a question and a rating.
Like, 1 question with regards to medical center, like craft up a question on
was it medical center or doctor?
Or not medical, sorry.
Are being limited to 1 question here? Is that what?
Well, no, I just wait. What are we adding? That's what I'm trying to define. Is it 1 question? Because we'll maybe 2, and then we start. You're
well. The only thing I was looking at was in terms of a general question about maybe what the township does, and then you'd have a lot of these have a you know, a rating in terms of how is the township doing in terms of this. So I don't know if you'd want to put that after.
So what about a simple question with regards to healthcare and how much involvement you think the municipality should be in this, or is it provincial? I don't know, like I would keep it simple. I wouldn't want to cloud it up because it's going to throw off what we're trying to see, as much as you say that we might.
To me, it's the I don't know how to word it, but the general question would be is, you want to see any or whatever municipal tax dollars put towards doctor recruitment or kind of, you know, like some kind of healthcare in the community.
So that's what I said. So for today, if we had a motion, okay, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, this would obviously depend on how specific council would like to be with this. We had a very specific proposal presented this morning. And if council wishes to ask that very specific question, we could certainly put that in the survey. Is the township in favor of that proposal or not? And that could be a budget question for us to consider at budget.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know if I'd go that specific, but I think we could word that in a general way in terms of, you know, would people be.
How involved do you want to be in?
Well, yeah, but just, yeah, would you want to see any of your municipal tax dollars put towards, you know, a doctor?
Healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare.
Yeah. We've already got that commitment. The county's made the commitment. They hired people to recruit.
This is the township, like the county.
Oh, there's a difference now? Okay, thank you.
But, well, I think, sorry, through you. Okay, so let's get away from, we're just talking township here now because of our delegation this morning. So I guess if you put it very simplified and say, do you want your tax dollars to be used towards healthcare? Something very, very simple.
Recruitment of doctor.
Something very simple, very simple.
Yeah, sorry, through you.
No, I said.
Yes, but I wouldn't want to use the word healthcare because that's way too general. And what we're talking about here is more as doctor recruitment or some kind of, you know, fee for service basically for doctors. Because healthcare, I don't know, it's like I said, it could be a whole bunch of things to a whole bunch of different people. What I would like to know is, as I said, are people okay with paying $150 for access to a doctor in their community?
But maybe we should leave it out of here totally. We have a delegation. We're going to hear from people. Why don't we address that on a separate basis?
Well, because I don't, maybe you know the answer. I don't know the answer. All the questions on here, I know the answers to. That's just what I'm saying.
Hope you do. We're hoping we're consistent.
Well, no, but I think we are. As I said, if we pull the results from that and you pull the results from the strategic plan, we talked about this through the strategic plan. And a lot of these answers we're getting back from the surveys are very similar, right? There's not a lot of variance in them. So I mean, to keep putting out surveys.
So right now there's a motion on the floor for option one. We're talking about amendments. Councillor Doherty, go ahead. You move to recommend.
Well, having it, whether it's 3 years or 2 years, because I don't know if the other council had it, but we've had it 2 years. If we get the second year with comparables, then I think we maybe look at a wholesale change in 25 for a survey, because I think we're going to have a lot different questions, to your point, next year because we are accomplishing some of the things that are on the survey or moving them forward. So that's my take on it. But I'm not adverse to adding a question. But I don't know what the question should be. Asking people whether they want a doctor or not is pretty rhetorical. Asking if they want a medical center is rhetorical, because I think I know the answer. Yes, everybody wants it. It's just, do we have the $9 million and to go along with it? I mean, that's really the problem, and we were presented with a possible solution today. And I know what you're saying, Deputy Mayor, and I agree, but I don't know how to formulate the questions.
Once again, for clarity, it would be asking the public whether they would be willing to have a fee for service, you know, through their taxes or whatever for access, I guess, accessibility to a doctor. That's basically what we've been providing.
And is that the act allow us to do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Chair, I feel that we could craft something that would
envelop what everybody has said. I think Councillor Flagler made the point that she would like it kind of centered on recruitment, and I think Deputy Mayor mentioned that he wasn't fond of it being health centered, just that broad envelope of health. So I feel, given what's been discussed, we could come up with a decent question if council wants to add one.
When does this have to go out by the survey?
Through Chair, my thought would be as soon as possible, just to kind of keep, I know we have an aggressive timeline this year for the budget. I think what I consider to be where we should be. So I could bring the question back to the next council meeting. It does put us back to a couple of weeks, but I'm confident that we have enough information right now.
So the motion for today, if it was to say that we were going to add a question in there, bring it or defer it to the next meeting to look at.
No, I don't want to defer it. I just
Okay.
like my thought would be as we settle it, and I'm just not sure how we position the thing. I'm okay with amending it. Another question. I don't have a problem with that.
So through you, Mayor Martin, just further to the comments of the treasurer regarding timing. We do have this included in our tax newsletter. So there is a QR code there for the budget survey. So the plan was to include this survey with the mailings of the tax bill in the newsletter.
Okay. Councillor Flagler, go ahead.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. Lionel, we have done this same survey for 2 years, correct?
Through you, Chair, yes, this
Right.
is the second year.
And what are the results so far? Like, do you have any results on which questions, I guess, people are answering or that are, important to them?
Through you, Chair, yes, we did get the results last year, and again this year we'll bring those results to council. So with this survey, once that closes, we'll be bringing a report. And this year it will include comparators from the previous year, whereas before we really didn't have the data to do that.
Okay, thank you, Lionel.
Okay. So we have a motion. Option one.
We're going to get down to a question here. What the question? I don't mind the question with how is it medical center, doctor, recruitment, pay for service? Is that the 4 key things that we're trying to get into one question?
Right. Through you, Mayor Martin. I think paying for service, that opens up a whole new ball game. I've never known of a township paying for service because I have a doctor in Peterborough or I have a doctor somewhere in Woodstock. So I get where Norwood is coming from, but what I would like to know is, do our residents want to see a doctor / office, medical center, whatever, here in Havelock? That's the question I'd like to hear from people to see where everybody does stand with that.
So I think, like Councillor Doherty said, with regards to that, if you leave it that specific, do you want a doctor, do you want a medical center? I think you will get, yeah, I do. But, and then we can decide on how it's going to be paid for. That's the other side of it. I think if you have the whole story there, it would be good discussion. I understand what you're trying to say there. And we need to have it, and we're going to have it, because after the delegation today, I'm sure we will be getting some calls around some of the ideas that are floating now. So to move forward here, do you have a question? Like, do you want it just that? Do you want a doctor's office? We can throw it in there.
If the county is doing that doctor recruitment thing and we're part of the county, I think that option should be open for us to have our own doctor when they do their survey and they feel, well, no, Havelock is the best spot to do that. Like, you guys don't know what Peterborough County has come up with, correct?
Yeah. How many doctors do you think they're going to put in Havelock when there's 4 doctors in North?
Hopefully 2.
that's just my question in that, you know, I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you.
No, you.
Okay, so we have a motion. We have like a mover and a seconder for option one. You know, and they're okay with another question. We don't have the question, but we need to get this out. So it needs to go out for the tax bill to get it done properly. So anybody got an idea? If you want a specific question? If not, we'll leave it at that.
If you want to.
And I made the motion that we can add a question if we want. I just don't know the question.
Yeah, so
and I'm okay.
On the survey, the second survey part, on the very top, it says doctor and you went example. Can you not just put that in a question? It's the second survey.
So you absolutely can do that.
Thank you. Take the question from the
Yeah.
second survey, put it into the first survey, and see where it falls out. It's a start. Sure. Are you okay with that, Terry?
Well, yeah.
You made the motion, so is that amendment okay with you?
The question
Yeah.
on it? I mean, I just don't know the questions.
Okay.
Second, I'm fine with that too.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I read.
okay, so the motion is that we go with option one and add question, the first, is it the first question?
Number one, yeah.
Off of the second survey to the first survey. There's mine. So I have a mover and a seconder with that. Any other comments? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you, Lionel. Welcome. So the next item here is with regards to strategic plan review best practice, and I don't really think we need a motion for that. Like that's maybe a little ahead of. That's going to happen anyways, so that'll be a part of the strategic plan. You always review it every year, so I don't think there's a necessity to have a motion for that because it's happening. It's a part of the practice. Bob, do you have anything with that? Like, am I wrong? Like any strategic plans I've been involved with, they come up yearly and we review how we're doing and just keep moving ahead. So.
Through you, Mayor Martin, it is, I think it's fair to say that this could be somewhat premature as we do not have the final document yet for the strategic planning process. And typically I would certainly expect that within that document, there would be an annual review, which is something that I think every council would do. It wouldn't make much sense to have a strategic plan without reviewing it annually. And probably as suggested, budget time is probably the best as it would allocate spending and priority.
So it's not a big job to make a motion, but it's just, I don't think it's necessary right now. I think that'll take care of itself. It's like I say, any strategic plan, you're not going to just sit them on the shelf. We're going to want to look at them and work with them. So that's just my thoughts, but.
What?
No, did you have?
No, I agree. I think this was discussed at the meeting in terms of that it would be reviewed usually probably during budget, we would review it. I think where this arose from is that the Economic Development Committee, I guess, wants to conduct its own kind of review of the strategic plan every year. And I guess that's going to be brought forward to council. Isn't that kind of what I deduced from that meeting?
Through you, Mayor Martin, this actually predated the strategic planning exercise, and Deputy Mayor Webb and I explained that we had it's termed a strategic plan, but may not be as formal as other strategic plans that you're familiar with. And the fact that it wasn't reviewed on an annual basis is the reason they flagged it. So this actually is likely a moot point now that we've gone through the strategic planning exercise and there was commitment made, but it was raised before it.
So we can assure them that it will be reviewed. The other one was a priority list. It wasn't really a strategic plan that we had. So moving forward, it'll be properly done. So yeah, I assure you, we haven't seen the document, but all strategic plans are, that's the whole idea is if you leave it on the shelf, you might as well not do it. So
Through you, Mayor Martin, the Economic Development Committee would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay.
If a best practice, they just simply wanted to make sure that it was followed.
yeah. Motion to receive this, moved by Councilor Doherty, second by Councilor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Next item, village entrance service social signs, club signs.
Through you, Mayor Martin, this also was brought forward from the Economic Development Committee meetings. We have been looking at village entrance as well as gateway signs for some time, and municipal staff performed a review of the signage within our township back in 2023 at the urging of the Economic Development Committee. The purpose of the signage review exercise was to confirm consistent township population first, sign condition and accuracy. The recommendation put forward is that council approve the replacement of 4 Havelock-Belmont-Methuen social club signs located at each of the 4 entrance locations. A little bit of background. As part of that review, staff confirmed township population is 10,300 across all of our gateway signs. There are 11. Gateway sign paint finish is crackling, but the paint color and lettering remains clearly visible to motorists, so they'll stand up for a little longer. There are 3 foot by 6 foot social club signs prominently placed at the north, south, and western village entrances and are affixed below our welcome to Havelock signs. The larger standalone 6 by 6 social / service club sign is located at the eastern village entrance, setback approximately 30 feet from the traffic lights. 4 of the 12 service clubs listed on those signs no longer exist, which would be apparent to a lot of the people who are traversing Highway 7. And so the general feeling was that that's misrepresentation. It's important that we address that because it leaves a poor impression. To remedy this, the committee recommends council replace the inaccurate service club signs with new ones. This is an item that has been budgeted for under the 2024 Gateway Signs Capital Projects account, and the amount being $2,950 in terms of quotation. And if you look to the 3rd page, I've highlighted the signs that are in question, so that's clear for you. Just one notation: the southern entrance, which is on 30 coming into Norwood, the frame is there for the service club sign, but the sign is missing. And so that was simply one.
Okay, so yeah, it's good to keep them updated, and that's a good start. Council's thoughts?
Just a question. I know I'm a little late to the party, but there's no way on the signage to have them, the service clubs, kind of a one-off, because we do have them some going and coming, and you said we have some there that aren't active now. Well, we're going to produce a sign with the active ones, but what happens next year if something happens? I don't know how we would do it, but if we could, some way of having them individual so that if something happens or we add a new sign, we could add them just for cost.
Through you, Mayor Martin, the organizations that are no longer with us were organizations that had tens of years, like I would say 40 and 50 years or more, and they simply expired because it's the sign of the times. The organizations that we have flagged for replacement are ones, again, that have been around for very, very long. They're not likely to fail, and I don't mind sharing with you here a list of those that are slated to go up on the sign. Our Scouts, the Belmont Women's Institute, Celebrate Havelock, the Havelock District Snowmobile Club, Havelock Express Minor Softball, the Havelock Center, the Figure Skating Club, the Soccer Club, Lions Club, Masons, Minor Hockey, Seniors Club, HBM Proud, Midweek Jammers, Peterborough Trails ATV Club, which is our local ATV club, and the RCL Branch 3, Royal Canadian Legion 389. We did flag one, which was the HBM Youth Committee, and that we retracted. We felt that didn't necessarily, we have a logo for that group, we didn't need to include it on the sign. So in total, there are 16.
How many in total there?
Pardon me?
In total, there are how many?
16 in total.
So I think to Councillor Doherty's point, is there a way of, like, I know you're saying they're gonna be around forever, but lots of things are changing pretty quick. If a whole sign gets scrapped because one of them leaves, it would be nice if there was a way. I have seen them in other areas where they're individual signs, and if such a thing, one needs to be removed, you don't have to take the whole sign away, or you don't have to spray paint over it.
Through you, Mayor Martin, I can certainly go back
Let's see what
to the manufacturer to see if they can come forward with some design recommendations that will allow for it. We did talk about this particular sign needs to hold up against weather, against all of the weather conditions, and it would be difficult to come up with any sort of vinyl that could be pulled off. But as you say, maybe individuals, I'm not entirely sure how that would, or how that might be placed, but we could certainly ask for design elements.
Just because
to that, because I wasn't working with Sherry on this, but I've been doing sign work in my day. And I understand where council's coming from, but in terms of the price, so we can do this, be prepared, the price will be probably double, if not more, of what you're looking at, because it's going to be interchangeable. Every one of those logos is going to have to be put on a different sheet. Yeah. So we can do it, but just do the 3,300, in which case we'll probably be coming back looking for more for ACDEF, because this is the money that was budgeted for. So just to prep everybody.
Sure. Okay, Kathy. Oh, did you have your hand up?
Sorry,
Well, I didn't say we should do it. I just said, is there any way we should consider it? I mean, this sign, I mean, we were going to put these signs up for 2 years, so the hold up's not going to be a problem. I don't want to hold it up. I was just merely asking a question, and agreed it's going to be more costly.
I don't mind the idea, because I understand to make a good point in terms of some of these could be coming and going, but at the same time, as finished dealing with the sign issue, the flat steel sign with, you know, some spray paint on it is a lot cheaper than what we're doing interchangeable signs. So,
well, with the feedback we got is this is a bad reflection on the community, and this is bad and that's bad. It kind of stimulated the question is, why don't we solve the problem fairly quickly? Because when's the last time these signs were updated? 1844.
Yeah, no. Amalgamation.
Well, no, I'm saying is that's the problem we're wrestling with now. It's 5 years ago since amalgamation. So anyway, no, it's just a question. I agree. I'll get the signs up for sure.
And we're more than willing to investigate that. I just, as I said, I don't want to bring it back and then go, $8,000. It's like,
yeah,
trying to tell you.
So it might be just safer to go with the recommendation here, and if we have to deal with any alterations after, just looking at, there's 2 that were damaged over the years here, and we've used a cleaner, and it's kind of discolored the sign. That's the other problem with graffiti, but we can deal with that. Right now, there is a motion that we just go with or is there there's no motion. So okay, so the recommendation is that we replace this and move on with it. Moved by Councillor Flagler.
Should I ask?
Yeah.
Sorry, one question. Will these signs look like, so the top half, if something happened to the bottom half, we still have the top half, like the eastern and the northern entrance? Are you gonna go that route?
Through you, Mayor Martin, what you're looking at in the image showing the signs, the welcome sign above is, we'll call it our branded sign. And then the service group rectangular sign below and square at the lights.
All separate.
They simply affix to the frame that you see there. They're replacing the locations.
Okay, second.
Okay, so we'll move in a second. Any other questions around that? All in favor? That's carried. So, all right. And the next item here is the environment grant application, Cash Lake.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin, this report presents an environmental grant application from the Lake Cashel Residents Association for the purchase of lead-free tackle. And this is as per our environmental grant policy, and staff is recommending approval.
Take a motion. Moved by Councillor Doherty, seconded by Councillor Flagler. Any questions or comments around that? All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. Next item is mobile canteen permit.
For you, Mayor Martin, this application, this report presents a mobile canteen permit application from Megan Chamberlain. for the operation of a business titled So Forth and Good, be located at 6725 Highway 7 at the number 7 Auto Plaza. There are some still outstanding items on this application. So this application would be approved conditionally upon all the requirements being met.
All right, through you, Mayor Martin, is there not one already operating there now? At number 7? Oh, sorry.
Through you, Mayor Martin, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
However, if you wish to bring something to my attention, I
No,
will
that's fine.
follow up.
Sorry, no, I just thought I saw
You're
something.
not getting any free hamburgers.
Okay, so the application here, the recommendation is for you. What's your thoughts? To grant the license. For a second. That's your pleasure.
Yes. Just a little bit, it says a mobile canteen. So is this vehicle equipped, I guess with the 2 sinks and all the requirements that the health department has?
They would have to go through.
Which I'm presuming, okay, then I'll make the motion then. As long as all the requirements are.
That's it,
met.
as long as all the licensing agreement.
Yeah.
And that, moved by Councilor Flagler. Second.
Yes.
Just
Yes, it's a permit.
Business.
This is just a permit.
So second by Councilor Flagler. All in favor? And that's covered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So, all right, the next item here is the facility tour. I brought that forward back in May. For an idea just to council before budget to be able to see what we've got and maybe some of the challenges could be there or some of the things we're doing good. So my thoughts would be sometime in July or August. I have no time in June myself, but that if it doesn't work in July or August, that's fine, go in June. So we'd have to look for some dates to come back. Councilor, our Deputy Mayor Webb and then Councilor Doherty.
I just make a motion to move it, but with a comment.
Okay.
Road tour. Does that mean we're just not doing a road tour this year?
No, through you, Mayor Martin, the motion from council was to do both. So given the expected length of the facilities tour, it would make sense to split those up into 2 different days.
Okay. So do we have a, because we would like to do the road tour, I guess, in the summertime too, right? So.
Yeah, like they're right into construction. So one of the ideas was that we look at September or something like that and see what they've finished and what we're getting, what they have planned for.
Okay, as long as it's before budget.
But if it's before budget,
so
definitely, but it could be, maybe it'll be in July or August too with this other one, but it will be happening.
Okay, thank you.
I thought we were getting a report on our asset management, which is due in July, is it not? And I thought we were going to tie that into perhaps the tour so we could identify and look at, or did I doze off again?
Our treasurer will answer that question.
Through you, Chair, yes, we are going to be bringing forward the draft asset management plan to the next meeting. We haven't received the draft yet. And the plan would be to both incorporate that into the following year's budgets and, of course, determine priorities for any road surveys or road tours.
Okay. So they would be tied in. So when does that come, Lionel?
Next meeting.
Next meeting, so. Maybe next meeting, we can work around some dates for these things, but right now the recommendation is that that these places be included in, and then we'll come up with a date to coincide with for the road tour especially, or I guess it's everything for the asset management, coincide with Lionel. Lionel report. So for today, it's just to go ahead with the, and come up with some dates. We can do a doodle poll or whatever to see what works with everyone's calendars and try and set up a time to do, these two, tours. Is everybody okay with that? Councilor Flagler?
Through you, Mayor Martin. Bob, do you have any dates available to give us?
Through you, Mayor Martin, no, I didn't suggest any specific dates in this report. I'm asking council to provide those to staff. However, I can bring back a report at our next meeting following the report regarding asset management. I can certainly bring this report with some suggested dates, and we can look at that.
Thank you.
So the motion would be that we go ahead with this and we'll set up some dates. That were you moving that, Councilor Flagler?
Yes.
Okay, second, Councilor Clement. All in favor? That's carried. All right, the next item here is the reduction of inflow and infiltration on York Street. Bob?
Catching up here. Getting my instructions for the next meeting. There we go. Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. At our last council meeting on May 21st, SEMA Engineering, who's our project manager on the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant, made a presentation to council and highlighted the extent of the problem with inflow and infiltration at the wastewater treatment plant. We are treating water that does not need to be treated. So that at the same meeting, council awarded the tender for the George Street reconstruction project. And it was noted by SEMA Engineering that that project may provide an opportunity to address the inflow and infiltration problem. So this report presents a request to council to approach our contractor for the reconstruction of George Street, QBT Excavating, to provide us a cost estimate regarding the repair and replacement of both stormwater and sanitary sewer laterals that will occur on private property to assist with the inflow and infiltration problem. And if I got any of that wrong, our manager of public works is here to help me stumble through that.
Yeah. So this is something that we didn't do when we did some other construction in our village, and it's just something that we should get a costing of it to see what if it could be done and included in the job itself. Otherwise, we have a lot of lateral hookups that don't get hooked up. So it'd be good to know that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll make through you, Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion. And just to the point that there is a bylaw on our books that's been there since 2007. It says that this is supposed to be done. So time we start correcting some of these problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, so moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Flagler. Questions, comments?
Do we have a number?
That's
how many?
No, I think that'll be part of this.
Yeah.
Roughly.
I'm sorry, how many properties?
Yeah, how many are we talking about? 20, 50?
No, the estimate I believe is 55 properties.
Thank you.
Yep.
Right, so member seconder, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, if council is okay, I would like to just adjust the schedule here to help Guinevere out. She has to get back to school, so we're gonna move her report. If everybody's okay, we'll move her report up to right now before we go into correspondence.
No, yeah, it's terrible, but she's under meeting.
Yes. So Guinevere. Oh.
So through you, Mayor Martin, our student counselor has a video that she'd like to play for us.
Hello, my name is Guinevere Davidson, and I'm an 11th grade student at Norwood District High School and your HPM youth counselor. Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is a strong community that is there to care for and support one another. Havelock is a youth-friendly community that provides many opportunities and entertainment. Kids can participate in team sports such as baseball, hockey, soccer, dance, and figure skating, as well as free skate for anyone interested. They can also play and socialize at the parks and splash pad provided in the town. The Havelock Center offers many programs. They have a mom and tots group for mothers with their young children, guitar lessons, seniors coffee, and much more. They have a second harvest program where families can top up their groceries for free, and 2 Fridays a month they have a live music night for all. Havelock is always putting on events and days of fun for the whole family. There's things like Celebrate Havelock, Fire and Ice, the Havelock Farmers Market that happens weekly on Fridays, and many other things. Havelock has schools for all ages. The Havelock-Belmont Public School for elementary students, the North District High School for intermediate to secondary students. They also have a preschool for children who are not of school age yet. Havelock also has many resources for its residents to access. We have things like the food bank, community care, and as well as many other supportive resources. I love Havelock because it doesn't matter if you are 2 or 82, there is always something for you to do and be a part of. I think Havelock is one of the most supportive and prosperous communities around, and I am proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, well done, Jennifer. Wow, you never cease to amaze me. Wow, that's really good. Hopefully we can use that again. I'm gonna play that once in a while just to remind myself. So, but that's really good, and I appreciate you doing this for us because, like I say, we've done it years ago, and now you've came back and kind of started it again. And like I said to you, I'd like to talk to you in the future and just see if there's any critiquing needs done on to make it a better experience for the students if they wanted to take part in something like this. But Deputy Mayor Webb and myself had seen you at the county, but this is way better than what you did at the county. So thank you very much. Yeah. So any council have anything to say?
No, just to echo your thoughts, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you here. Hopefully, this is something, as the mayor said, we continue and have more students like you. And I'm sure once we expand our AV advertising department, that somebody from HBM will be in contact. Really nice video. Sharing our community. So thank you.
Have you copyrighted that commercial, or can we use it? We might want to use it. All right, thank you.
She may have further.
Do you have any comments on your experience, or I don't want to put you on the spot?
Not too much. I thought it was really, really amazing to be here. Like as I was telling you, I may not understand everything you guys are saying, but it's very informative. Like I get like a little inside view on everything.
She fits right in.
We have something for her? Like we got some merch or something for her?
I'm gonna get back camera because I would love a picture before we lose her. Okay.
Pictures were 1,000 words, right?
Yeah, that's
so yeah.
Stuff's down there. Oh yeah. Oh, there's t-shirts.
So
Yeah,
we will get a picture and then
Alrighty.
and then let you carry on. So
oh,
you want to let's stand behind her there.
I want to get a whole group here.
Stay there.
Okay, I see you. Okay. Go.
You sit down here. You want to come over here?
Oh. I love the fact that you're a VIP front and center. That's excellent. Thank you very much. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Really good. You need to carry on. That's to get back to school. That's
Yes, I do.
okay. I know you got exams coming. So.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I want to thank all of you guys for letting me be a part of this experience. It's really, really good.
Hey. then, so we'll move into correspondence action items. We do have an addition here that came in last night, but the first item here is the annual regatta for Cordova Lake Association.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor. Carries. And the youth committee and kind town hall usage.
Motion to approve.
Yeah. Deputy Mayor Webb, Councillor Clement, all in favor. Carried. And the next one is the Elvis. I haven't got it on my screen. It came in last night with regard to the Lions. Questions?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve just with a question, I guess, to Josh. This doesn't provide a whole bunch of new problems or anything, right? We let them move down onto the ice surface, or will it?
Through your Mayor, no, I won't cause any issues.
We're set up to handle that in terms of, okay.
The only thing, he didn't add the amount of time.
Okay.
You can reach out to clarify that.
Okay, thank you.
And what about if is there a licensed bar upstairs, but downstairs?
Yeah. So, Mayor Martin, for the Lions license bar is 39 George Street.
Okay.
It's the entire property, so they can come downstairs. It's
all covered. Good. Okay. There you go. So
splash pad.
So that extended the dressing rooms too then?
License. Yeah, I remember that. We had one down there before when we had a dance down there, and yeah, because the inspectors came in and checked it out.
And the silent auction.
Yeah.
To come down.
Right. Okay. So the motion would be that we at no cost would give them that. Is it the option, or they're going to use downstairs?
Well, I think the original request was based on ticket sales.
Okay.
So I think it's the option.
Okay.
It's up to 250, right? And
that's correct.
Okay.
Is there a date attached to that? I mean, it's supposed to be.
It is
It's Saturday.
Oh, yeah, it's Saturday.
Saturday?
4.
Okay.
8th.
So the motion would be to give them the option. To the floor. Okay, moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? That's carried. Okay. We have some information items. The one big one there is the, or it's only one, I guess, is the Aeon's doing their career expo. I haven't got the date in front of me, but it's 27th, I think.
Yeah.
27th.
6 p.m.
Yeah. So hopefully it's well attended. And that's all for information items. So the next. I'd like this. We're going to move into committee liaison reports, and with the county update, our meetings were off schedule last month, so we haven't had a meeting since
Our last meeting, yeah. But just I think everybody received the email. There was an invite put out for the county open house. I believe it's June 22nd or 24th. Everybody received that. I see nods. Okay. So which was obviously to all of council and I guess members of staff as well. So as I apologize for not having the correct date. It's either the 24th or the 22nd. I think they're running 2 sessions. One would be, I think it's 3 to 5 and 7 to 9 at Cabin Community Center. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's kind of I did it before, and it's really informative. Yeah. If you want to know anything about the county, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, most of the organizations, sorry to cut you off, but most of the organizations the county deals with, the community care, fair even whatnot, they'll be there, have tables set up. So it's a good way to fill yourself in a short period of time if you so choose. So, but I guess everybody's well aware of it already. So
yeah. All right then. And we've already done Guinevere's, so get back to it. Okay, we have the paper copy. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Okay. So So Bev, we have youth committee minutes here from January 25th and February 22nd. If there's nothing to add there, I'll take a motion that we receive those minutes. Okay. Moved by Councillor Clement, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? And that's carried. And it's something under, it's not on here, but Deputy Mayor Webb asked me to talk about a thing I did last week for the business community. I had my mayor's breakfast, mayor's coffee with them. And we talked about a number of things, a lot of issues around George Street. It was more for the village, and it was well attended, and it was something that we couldn't have a forum there. So it was just, and you guys are welcome to do your own if you decide. I thought it was beneficial, and if you decide that you just want to do one, by all means, there's lots of information comes out of them, and a lot was around, you know, leasing and speeding cars and those types of things. But there were some other things with regards to the construction coming up. So with that, go ahead.
Just quickly, sorry, I forgot to put it on the list, but a week from last Saturday, we held the fishing derby for this year, which is went down very well. So just quickly, I'd just like to thank, I guess she's not here, Sherry, for all the work she put in. I believe Skylar as well helped with that. Sarah, our student, did a fantastic job over there, Josh. And to, I always forget, trying to forget them. Our police chief, or sorry, fire chief Ray Haynes, and all the volunteers. I believe he had 10 or 12 over there running the barbecue. Always do a fabulous job, well attended by our residents. So thank you to all staff that took part. Really appreciate it.
So motion to receive the report. Moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so written or oral notice of motions. We don't have any here today unless somebody has a written or oral notice. Other business. One item in other, no, few items here, sorry. First item here was councillor-led budget town hall meeting. It was something that I was thinking about to add to the survey is kind of some people we keep hearing don't do online. So this was an opportunity as the three councillors to take a to hold your own town hall type of thing, and just, you know, how the format is, it's up to you. And I said I'll come and support if need be to help these out, or Deputy Mayor Webb's willing, I think, to help out if need be. But it's just a thought to try and get to the people that don't do online, and a chance for you guys to you know, hear from the people. If there's, you know, you can keep it to an hour, you know, and the format is up to you whether you want to have an open town hall or just a table and let people come in and talk to you one-on-one for 5 minutes. Totally up to you. But it's just a thought to try something different this year, and I'm hoping that you can see the value in that for the people. So that's
so would we go out to them, like if they invited us after, if they hear this and they want us to come out, like would we go to say maybe with the round?
If you support the concept, yeah, we can come up with a, you know, like a plan to advertise it and be consistent. What the view that I seen was maybe like a village ward, a waterfront, and a township, break it into the 3 pieces, and you know, have a meeting maybe at the town hall or the stone hall, or maybe one of the lake pavilions, just for the waterfront, and just see what happens. It's just trying something to get to the people that don't do online or struggle with online surveys and stuff. So
through you, Mayor Martin, is this sometime in August or September? Is that what we're talking about?
It would have to be, yeah, right after the or in around the time of the surveys out there, and you would basically use the survey to talk to them. But it would be yeah, in around that time, so we have because it'll be a part of the results of the survey. So
okay.
so I haven't got the timeline for the survey, but I think it's the end of August it's supposed to be done by, or the. I haven't got it in front of me, but that's what I was working from, is that we could do it during that, like probably during August sometime. Try and do a, so they can go together. Any results from that could be added to the results.
You can count me in on that, whatever.
Me too, and especially I'd like to see it done before the cottagers leave.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
You know, so I think I'm in for it, I'm good.
So it's a budget survey. I mean, we have to have it done earlier than.
Yeah, like, so we can talk, like, it's just in principle today. If you're good with that, we'll work out a plan. And like I say, I'm willing to help you if you want, if you want support there, as far as even just to sit in the back. If you don't want anybody, that's fine too. I just don't want, sometimes it's nice to have, if something comes up, but.
Well, I think we're sending out a survey with the tax bill. It's got budget. We did the strategic plan. We did a survey. It has budget connotations. We're probably going to do 3 meetings, open meetings, which is budgeted. And now we're going to do another 3 meetings to find out what people are thinking about. Okay, no, I'm just confused here. Thank you.
If it doesn't work, I just thought it was something.
I think it's worth trying to
try it and just see if we can get those people that don't respond. So, okay, so like the motion would be that we come up with a timeline for this for these meetings, and we'll work together and come up with something for the the next meeting. Okay. All right. So someone want to move that we? Did you move it?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay. And second, Kathy. Okay. Thank you. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so Jerry, at Visitor Center statistics.
Yes.
So. Okay, well, I think maybe she's. Okay, well, summer meeting schedule. Bob will jump over Jerry and get you from back, but that.
Okay, what's is that another business? Where did this come from?
In my other business.
Yeah.
Visitor center statistics.
Okay. And are we supposed to, what are we supposed to be doing?
Well, there's the summer meeting.
For you, Mayor Martin, there's an outstanding item regarding funding of summer students for the chamber kiosks. And at the last council meeting, council requested some statistics be brought forward to demonstrate usage in the past.
So,
go ahead, sorry.
I think I know where we're talking. I don't know where Sherry is, but in order to keep things moving here today, I'll make a motion that we go with the one staff, kind of what's suggested here, Thursday to Sunday. All the hours that are basically on the sheet.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that we go with. And Councillor Flagler.
Through you, Mayor Martin. I will second the motion, but the hours, according to all the data in the back, they're really not that busy from 5 to 8. Even on a Friday night, that's not that busy.
10 till 4.
10 till 4 seems to be the hours of opening. So I would like to see it open 10 to 4, say Friday to Monday or Thursday to Monday.
Okay, just in terms of that, I've had comments in terms of I wish Sherry was here, she's heard them as well. Friday nights, between the farmers market and just the general traffic coming through here. I don't know why. I understand in terms of this. I get that. Just saying in terms of I've had a couple of people tell me that it might not be a bad thing to have somebody here on Friday night, which I kind of agree with because there's a lot of traffic here. Now, obviously, the numbers don't reflect that, so I don't know if they just don't stop in to the kiosk those nights. But at the same time, it is a high traffic time. There's people going through here, and I would rather kind of have that be seen as open. Because when people go through and it's closed down and there's no lights on, then it looks like it's closed down for good and no lights on. So I mean, if we're gonna give this impression that we're trying to, you know, promote ourselves and whatnot, I think during high peak hours, something like that should be open. So, but
Sorry, can I interject for one? Farmers market this year is shortening their hours. We're done at 6. So.
Okay. Through you, Mayor Martin. I see here she's got the times, suggested shifts, and it's 10 to 4, Sunday through Monday, and then 10 to 6 on Friday. Now, does that work out to, I guess, 29 hours a week? Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
You are? Yeah. Okay. So what was your motion then?
to go with what's exactly on the sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thursday to Sunday, Friday till Sunday.
Yes, Councilor.
Okay.
All right, so we have a mover and a seconder. Any other questions?
Understand.
Yeah. All in favor?
Most important.
All in favor? Thank you. Next item here is the summer meeting on July 16 and August 15.
Through you, Mayor Martin, this is a request to amend our council meeting schedule and change the July meeting from the 9th to the 16th. 1 week out. I think would help our ward public meeting, and it was suggested that we have a session at the council meeting and a session in early evening, 6 till 8 approximately. So July 16 will allow us to have good advertisement in the rail and have it out there for a few 2 or 3 extra weeks. And August 15, moving from the Tuesday to the Thursday of that week, just helps accommodate vacation.
Okay.
Which is one.
Sorry.
Deputy Mayor Webb.
Can I have those dates read again?
Yes.
And what day of the week are they? Because Thursdays, I got my committee meeting.
July 16 is a Tuesday, so it's moving the meeting from the 9th to the 16th, 1 week later.
Okay.
That's a Tuesday, and August 15 would be a Thursday.
Oh.
Moving from Tuesday the 13th to Thursday the 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yes.
Second. I'll move my committee meeting around so I can get out on time.
Okay.
It's okay, Jerry. I got out of that one.
All in favor? Yes, sir.
So that's the 15th, yeah, 9:30.
Okay, the next item on here is
Hard time on that.
the next item on here is the strategic plan survey draw winner. So Randy Real.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin, during the strategic plan survey that was conducted earlier this year, any respondent who wished to enter the draw for a $100 Foodland gift card was free to do so. They entered the draw. There was an electronic draw conducted by Praxis Consulting, and the winner is Randy Real.
Right then. So, all right, so that's the end of other business. And next item, there is no bylaws. So motion to go into closed session, under section 239(2)B for personal matters, but identifiable individual, including the local board employees. So, Art and Sherry, is that who made that motion? Okay. Okay, motion to go into closed and now both and motion to resume open session. Happy that. All in favor? It's carried. Okay. So you have a couple of motions to move in open. Want to close?
I do. So the first motion would be to update the library agreement with the Cordova Recreation Association and bring back to council.
Okay, mover. Art, all in favor? Carried. You both ready?
The next motion would be to request that the Celebrate Havelock Committee bring an update to council on the success of the event.
Okay, River, Kathy, Deb, all in favor? Carried. Let's switch.
And the last motion would be that staff is hereby authorized to proceed with a September 1 ice plant startup at the arena.
Flick the switch September 1st. River, Deb, Hart, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Next item.
Oh, yeah, and one more. That staff is hereby authorized to replace the locks at the basement of Town Hall. And that request to enter be brought forward to the supervisor of Parks and Recreation.
Okay. Jerry. All in favor? Carried. And then.
Yes.
Confirming bylaw for today.
Yeah.
Oh, there was no meeting? Yeah, so Kathy, confirming bylaw, moving and Jerry, all in favor? That's carried. Motion to adjourn. Mayor Webb. Councilor Snyder, all in favor?
Don't run her.